Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest channel and podcast. And if you are subscribed, I want to say thank you so much. Thank you all for taking the time to listen to the content on this platform. And if you are not subscribed yet, please do go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you're listening to this on YouTube while you're at it, go ahead and hit that like button. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. We just want to go ahead and brighten up the place. And let's get into this conversation. Guys, this story came out about a week ago, and I'm just honestly getting a chance to really speak about it. But Marques Houston, I've talked about him before on this platform, and I talked about not just him, but I also spoke about this story that came out about this old preacher somewhere in the Midwest that was in his 60s that married an 18-year-old girl that went to his church that he was a preacher in, and also to the school that the church created and funded. And just speaking about how a lot of these statutory limit laws, in my personal opinion, just sharing my views and opinions here on this channel and podcast, is that I believe that we know that the laws were enacted by men, okay? And I'm not saying all men are creeps, but I am saying that that mindset of, oh, well, she's just old enough, she is of the legal limit. I believe a lot of those statutory law limits were enacted to cover and protect men that were much older, that preferred younger females. Period. I'm not even going to say younger women, younger females. I'm not even going to say children, but sometimes it shakes out to be that way. And so I addressed him because he came out and he did a video on his Instagram. Well, now he's addressing the backlash that he's faced about the 19-year age difference between he and his wife, Miya Houston. He did an Uncensored on tvone. And so a preview of it was released on social media. And in it, he talks about the age gap of almost 20 years. We might as well just say 20 because taking a year away from it, it's almost as if it lessens and softens the blow. But honestly, it really doesn't. Okay. And even if the age gap where we were speaking about 20 years was him being 60 and she being 40, it's still 20 years of age. Yeah, granted, she would have been much older and mature at that point in time, but it still is something that people really need to consider when it comes to people having such a huge age range like that. What is the mindset of a man that wants to be with someone that is so much younger? And I'm not saying that it's okay for a much younger woman to want to be with older men, but in the society that we live in, we know that women, females, girls, they are blamed for almost everything. For example, if a female has multiple children and the children have multiple different fathers, they will blame the female. And I'm not saying that they don't bear any responsibility. That's not what I'm saying. But you rarely hear about them. Yeah, there's the term and phrase deadbeat dad. But the females are more beat up on than the men are, because they'll say, well, she has all of these different children with all of these different guys. She needs to quit sleeping around. But a woman can only get pregnant every 9 months. A man can get a different female pregnant every 9 minutes if he wanted to. Let's just be honest. If they put in that type of effort and time in their day to sleep around with that many people in that short of span of time in between releasing, whatever they release to get that egg fertilize and it creates a child in 9 months. A woman can have multiple children in one pregnancy, but they can only get pregnant every 9 months. If men are supposed to be the ones that are supposed to be so responsible and so in charge of everything, and like some people who are very chauvinistic in their views to think that, well, the man is the lead, the man is the head of the household, the man should do this, the man should do that, then men should be more responsible, right? And a lot of times it doesn't shake out that way, because they will get different and multiple females pregnant, but they don't want to bear the responsibility of getting married to that person that they had a child with, or if they get married to them, being a responsible person, putting aside their own selfish needs or wants or desires to say, well, I need to be with multiple different people, and also taking care of that woman and that child and giving them a life where, not saying that they may be wealthy or rich, but it's like, look, I made some bad decisions. I made some wrong decisions. I didn't count up the costs and think about what I really wanted my life to be. So this is the way it shakes out for me right now, and this is what I have to do. No, people will say it's okay, and maybe they don't come in and say it's okay, but they will allow men to just be out there sleeping around and then get all of these different females pregnant. And I'm not saying that it looks good, but the females are more scorned because they're the ones that are taking care of the children. And you have this branding of single mom, single mom, single mom. But I can guarantee that a lot of those females, even if the man that they got pregnant by didn't really want to be in a committed relationship with them, if that man said, you know what, look, we made some decisions that were not in our best interest, but you know what, let's just stop fooling around. I got you pregnant. You're pregnant by me. I just say, let's just try to make this work. I'm not for forcing marriages on people, but I 100% believe that if a majority of those men that got these females pregnant were to decide to lay aside their selfish desires and wants and going into life just doing whatever they want to do, being a single man, being a bachelor, sleeping around, and decided to marry this female that they got pregnant, more times than not, the female would say yes, because most women are looking for stability and just living a comfortable lifestyle, even if it doesn't mean that they're wanting to get rich. I'm not saying that it's okay to be a gold digger, but I do believe that a lot of the females that get into positions where they are in these situations, I wouldn't even call them relationships, but they're in these situations where they're with a man that has influence and money and things like that. They're looking for more stability, so they do some things that may be devious and do some things that may be by all means necessary, but ultimately they're looking to settle down and not so much sleep around. Yeah, there are the exceptions of females that are out there that are just as houndish as some men are, okay? So I'm not saying that there are no exceptions to those rules. But what I wanted to talk about with this is the fact that with Marques Houston, he said something that just really gave people pause, okay? In this Uncensored sit-down interview that he did, he says, people don't understand it. And of course, I got a lot of backlash for marrying someone that was 19. And you know, when we did finally start to talk, I was like, this woman is like me. Like you? How? In what way? Did you view yourself as someone who was still like in the group that he used to be in called immature? Did you view yourself as someone that was immature? Younger? What did you really have in common with a 19-year age difference? He says, for one, we had a spiritual connection. And I feel like that's the most important thing. And being able to start being around her. We connected through music and her spirit. Her kindness, her heart reminds me a lot of my mom. And we connected on so many different levels. What? Okay, she's a girl. She was 19 years old and you were 19 years older than she was. But you didn't meet her when you were 19. You met her before she became 19. You married her when she was 19 years old. Okay? So the spiritual connection, what you both were Jehovah's Witnesses, that's not a spiritual connection. That just means that you both went to the same church denomination. And I don't think Jehovah's Witnesses call what they go to a church. But you or in that same indoctrination of religion of what they call a Jehovah's Witness. So you did not have a spiritual connection. That's bogus. That's BS. Okay. And then he spoke about how they met. So he says, I met Miya in 2018 through a mutual friend. Never before then did I even know she existed. Why do you have to put it in that way? It's like you are on trial and you are speaking about the alibi that you have. You know, it almost, to me, that's the way it sounds. You can let me know your thoughts about that. And then he says, Miya is like a daughter to Chris Stokes because we are all like family. Being a Jehovah's Witness, we all showcase true love like family. That's it. Chris's real daughter, Chrissy Morales, became friends with Miya in 2018, where we all first met Miya at a Jehovah's Witness convention. It was then that Chrissy and Miya became friends. Miya and I didn't start dating until she was an adult. We fell in love and got engaged in March of 2019. Okay, so you were just waiting around for her to hit that legal age. And here we go, like I spoke about, age of consent, statutory age limits, these types of things. It is extremely weird and strange. It doesn't, to us who have common sense, logic, make any sense on how he's trying to describe this and explain it. Basically, guy, just say, look, she wasn't of age. When she finally hit the age, that's when we just wanted to go ahead and make it official. But I don't really want to speak about what happened before she turned of age because I don't want people to judge me, even though people are going to. And that's what we're doing because it's what you put out there. He can't explain this away. He cannot justify it. He cannot try to describe it in breaking these things down to make anyone who has ethics and morals and common sense say, oh, is that it? Okay, well, that makes sense. But anyone who thinks like he does would say that it's okay. And say what you want about me judging, I am. Because that's just not right. That big of an age gap, and then for you to say, well, I didn't even know she existed before then, but then when she became an adult, then we began dating, and not long after that we got married. No, you were seeing this chick and y'all were doing things. And hey, I'm not saying that they did anything physically before that age. In my opinion, I believe that they did, but hey, they may have been celibate and waited until they got married to make it official. Maybe that's why they went ahead and did it so quickly so that they could go ahead and get it in. I'm just sharing what I believe to be the case and what happened because I just don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. So he tried to explain it away. He tried to make this make sense, but it doesn't. And I just wanted to get that off of my chest because I've been waiting to speak about it, guys. So you can let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below. Thank you so much for liking this content, subscribing to the channel and the podcast. I really appreciate you being here. Guys, this is Beth, and I'm just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I just wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.